Half-Life is a game that was so immersive for its time that even today it feels more confident in telling a story through its player than anything I've seen released in a long time. It's on every PC gaming list, it broke major ground, and it's the very reason Valve ascended to their current god-tier status of having a direct line to my bank account. This franchise dominated at a time when shooters were basically a dime a dozen, and yet this still feels fresh to play in the big 2026. I like to think of the Doom era FPS games being closer to something like a shooting gallery at the county fair. A gun, you, and a bunch of f***ing targets to hit as they pop up. Quake, Unreal Tournament, Wolfenstein, all these games are a blast, but Half-Life was like stepping into a laser tag for the first time and the building just caught on fire. On top of that, it ran well on PCs people actually owned. My mom paid a kid down the street to build the desktop back in the 90s when Fry's was still a place, and that thing barely f***ing worked at all. But do you know what did? Half-Life, baby. Jonathan, if you're out there, you were truly doing the Lord's work, risking the family hard drive to sneak me some games. Now, you might be thinking it's redundant for me to go back and review an almost 30-year-old title. Jesus Christ, that hurts to say out loud. Or the fact that just because something has stood the test of time doesn't make it a relevant part of the ongoing conversation. And to you, Mr. Smarty Pants, I say, maybe you're right, because despite Jonathan's heroic efforts back in the early 2000s, I never actually finished this game as a kid. Yeah, I know, it's true. Some things only work in the time period they came to be. The biggest one that comes to mind being Nintendo's GoldenEye, which at the time revolutionized the idea of shooters working on console, but then Bungie said hold my beer. My point is, even though many years have passed, some things stay relevant long after they've given your mom's work email a virus. Halo, for all its innovation, is littered with inspiration from Valve's early work. There's no direct quote from that time beyond just some discussions about pacing and environment design, but if you use your eyes, it's almost undeniable. And your ears, too. Halo sold a lot of Xboxes back in the day, but just think about how many crowbars flew off the shelf after people got their hands on Half-Life. There's only one person with that kind of power. Gordon Ramsay. Wait, Gordon Freeman, the man who never speaks but hypnotized us all more than the orb chick on TikTok. Yeah. Seriously, I miss the days of the silent protagonist in games, because it makes every thought I had or any player of Half-Life be the thoughts of their Gordon Ramsay. Freeman. It made every moment, every item I interacted with in the environment, every inner thought a part of why Freeman is one of the most iconic characters we'll ever have.
My God, what are you doing?
I've played the sequel and the 2 following episodes. I'm still in denial about the cliffhanger, but after Gabe whispered sweet nothings into my ear the other night, I found myself compelled to install and finish the game once and for all. I mean, it's been sitting in my Steam library since 2018, why not now? And if you already know what I'm talking about, then why don't you do me a favor and give this video a like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel fight the algorithm and bringing videos like this to you. And yes, I did play the original version of Half-Life, not the source mode or the updated Black Mesa, because I figured the only way to properly experience this game again for the first time was to go back and ride that opening train segment that still to this day is somehow imprinted in my mind. The janky animations that teleport me to a different time and the hardest difficulty to experience the most pain possible. And boy oh boy did I get some boo-boos. I know this opening is long as hell, but man, the world building, the anticipation going on with everything that's happening around you, it's really immersive. And it's probably the only time in the game you're not going to be running.
Morning, Mr. Freeman.
Jesus Christ, the voice lines are so distorted and compressed.
Looks like you're running late.
Oh, you want me to move out of the... Yeah, there you go, buddy. I like how every time he presses the button, his mouth moves along with it, almost like he's making the sound himself and not the door. The movement feels insane, and there's this sort of floaty delay that almost makes you feel like, oh, we're off to a good start here.
They were having some problems down in the test chamber, too.
Just gonna see what this button does really quick.
My God, what are you doing?
Sorry.
Come on, Gordon. You trying to get me into trouble?
There he is, Big G-Man himself. Oh god, he f***ing looked at me. Among the scientists, soldiers, and alien creatures of Half-Life, there's one figure who never quite fits in. He shows up when you least expect him, watching silently, and seems to influence events in ways you can't fully understand. and boy is he wearing the hell out of that suit. All 17 polygons are f***ing cooking. The G-Man is someone or something that doesn't belong, yet somehow he's always there even when I don't realize it and I just find him looking back at my footage. Oh shit, it's magic suit time. Dude, this music is so good. I feel like I'm in Cyberpunk and I'm gonna karate kick Keanu Reeves. Little light show for my boy here. Can we also just appreciate that this story is perfectly understood and told in a game where there are only 6 character models that are recycled and repurposed from different portions of the story? I don't know how many times I ran into Einstein here, but whenever I do, he never has good news for me.
This is a rare opportunity for us.
One of my favorite things is Gordon isn't the best of the best. Chosen to clean up some unfolding plot, we're an unwilling participant forcefully adapting to every moment as it comes to us. Holy shit. Like the lab equipment slowly breaking before a test.
It's about to go critical.
The scientists not fully explaining their intentions to Gordon.
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this.
The military coming to silence us and clean up the mess that's been made. And whatever these two guys are up to. On the surface, it might look like a typical FPS Doom or Quake clone, but the way this game forces you to use the big brain juices makes for a truly unique experience. The guns all serve a specific purpose. The crowbar remains useful almost the entire game. The arsenal of options at your disposal are just really fun to play around with and decipher the best way to engage an encounter. The first thing I really appreciated was how fun and responsive the gunplay was in Half-Life. I've had my fair share of CSGO sessions with the homies in the past, but the DNA is so strong that you recognize it almost immediately. How does this game from 1998 still create such a timeless experience and hilarious moments? Oh, hello?
Ah, it's good to see you.
Dude doesn't seem very troubled for all the terrible doom that's following close behind him. The big thing to take away from Valve as a company, even to this day, is their focus in not only bringing the best experience to their players, but one that turns everything we know about similar titles on its head. How else do you explain there being no release of Half-Life 3 even over a decade after the most recent entry, but the existence of Alyx being released only a few years ago? Valve isn't going to do something unless it pushes and shifts the conversation of what the genre is meant to look like. Even to this day, the platforming and puzzle design in Half-Life feels just as frustrating and satisfying as any of the best shrines in Zelda. I've been running around in here for 15 minutes and I just realized you can open these things. Oh. Something's happening. Why is any of this happening, you might be asking yourself? Why are we fighting aliens and opening portals in the first place? Isn't Freeman only like a scientist or something? Not just any scientist, you measly the kind of scientist who's running late to work.
Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
Who doesn't listen to protocols before performing his duties, and definitely doesn't have any explanations into why, when there's inevitably a resonance cascade transporting alien beings into our world, Gordon just knows how to throw down like he's Max Payne without any training at all. No one has time to play the tutorial.
I am your holographic assistant.
But I do kind of love that you can die in it. This is all starting to sound vaguely familiar. My favorite thing about the game beyond the gunplay and puzzle solving is the way the story unfolds. The game doesn't stop and hold your hand through a cutscene between every level. It allows you the time and option to listen to or watch whatever moment you want. Only one time is there a pre-rendered cutscene in the entire game, and it's mostly just a black screen with implied storytelling that results in you losing all your guns, and essentially starting over from scratch.
Get him!
What does that mean? Just as you start to feel too powerful or understand the patterns to entering a fight, the game throws something new at you to make sure you're always paying attention. Is that a f***ing tank? Playing this game for the first time has the same feeling of putting your phone down and not looking at it for a couple days. We've all become so desensitized to what is an engaging, interactive experience that I think sometimes we forget just how much hand-holding is going on from a design level these days. It is one of the finest examples I can think of in the subject of show don't tell, something a Ubisoft game hasn't been able to do its entire existence. No yellow paint showing you where to go or an icon highlighting where you should interact, but a series of escape rooms that tap into this old way of playing. It's seriously refueling a feeling I had as a kid when discovering games for the first time. A feeling that can only be solved by trying shit out or clicking on heads with your mouse until they all pop. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're playing Portal. It's a practice that's almost lost on anything being developed today. The restraint to take the experience away from the player in an important moment, allow them to encounter it as they would react if it was happening to them in real time. If you haven't played it yet, but you're still watching this video, what the f are you even doing?
I gather they went to some lengths to get it.
Where do I even go? Oh, I get it now. I really have no clue what they're making in here. Half-Life really does live up to the hype your dad's been talking about your entire life, and the only way to shut him up is to join him. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of things that stood out to me when playing this that frustrated me. Between some elements of level design, the cheapness of certain enemies getting the upper hand, the touchiness of controls, falling off too many obstacles to my death, completely abandoning my rail cart at a certain point accidentally and having to run the rest of the chapter on foot, or teleporting aliens that magically appear shooting me from behind. This, even by the standards of 1998, is not a perfect game. But every time I healed at a health station or stumbled on the oh-so-satisfying HEV charging ports, I found that irritation replaced with a sense of purpose to trek on and push into the next arena. The claustrophobic nature of each environment allows the player to feel empowered with their choices and motivations to simply just have fun. Who cares if you make it to the next room? Do something silly that's fun. Every single section feels extremely alive and believable, even when it seems completely empty of enemies or other familiar faces. Sure, the graphics have aged pretty aggressively, but it's somehow still held together by the original sound design. Just listen.
Access denied.
To warn them.
This is a real world filled with endless options and ways to accidentally die, and I think we buy it because of how good it sounds. Near the end of the game, you unlock this extra ability for your suit that gives you the capacity to do something called a long jump, where you have to run, crouch, jump all at the same time to perform the move. It's a little weird to get the hang of at first, but you literally can't finish the game without it. And the game doesn't even tell you how to do it. I can't think of a single title that's dropped in the last 20 years that as soon as it reveals you've got a new power-up, a lower third or icon doesn't flash on the screen explaining to you how to perform that moveset. And knowing this game has a Dreamcast port with how hard it can be at times is objectively laughable. Doom might be able to be played on almost anything these days, but Half-Life is something truly that feels at home on PC. We're not even going to touch Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox port because Jesus Christ. Everything you've ever heard about this game is fortunately true. It's set a standard for storytelling, atmosphere, and gunplay that still inspires people to check it out. Its impact is obviously timeless, proving that Valve only makes things when they have something they want to try innovating, despite Steam pivoting to mostly being a software distribution empire. Playing Half-Life now made me realize something beyond just how incredible the game still is. It wasn't just the fun or the design, it's striking how little the game industry has really changed since this first came out. I mean, where else are you going to fight a massive baby while rocket jumping into an infinite void? Developers don't really have goals anymore. They have boardrooms. And I'm not just talking about the suits that handle the monthly quotas. Sometimes us fans are even holding our own franchises back. We live in such a reactional time where we almost never let a game speak for itself. And that's mostly because developers feel they have to sell a product on hype more than substance. And when that hype doesn't match its sales pitch, we react. So maybe the lesson here is actually pretty simple. Sometimes we don't know what we want, and that's okay. Great games, great art doesn't always start with the audience in mind. It starts when someone is willing to take a risk, to ask a question we can't yet answer, or say something so obvious that they present it in a way that makes you feel like you've had that very thought before, but never knew quite how to voice it. And until Valve, or anyone, figures out that question for all of us, Half-Life 3 will stay a mystery, reminding us that the most memorable experiences come from creators who trust their vision, even when we don't yet understand it.
Time to choose.
Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
You're heading for the Lambda complex, aren't you? I was heading there myself until I wound up here and, well, simply lost my nerve.